Hi, I'm Dan from Later Gladiators, and today I'm doing a book review of Zorro by Isabel Allende. Now, this, as you may see, this is the first time I'm using a book digitally. I tried to find an actually physical copy of this book, but became very difficult. That aside, let me tell you about the story. Many people know Zorro, the swashbuckling adventure, makes the Z with the sword. Alright, this story is about a man named Diego de la Vega, who becomes Zorro. That's the name of the main character. It basically starts off telling his life from California and his ventures that lead to Barcelona throughout the 18th century. The story is told in a third-person perspective, as if someone's retelling the story to the reader. And to give you an example of that, I'm going to read the first sentence of chapter 1. Let us start at the beginning, at an event which Diego de la Vega would not have been born. It happened in Alphabet, California, in the San Gerbil mission in the year 1790. So, as you can see, it refers to Diego as a third person, and someone just tells the whole story of his life and who he was. We learn that Zorro is half Spanish and half Native American. He was born to a father who was a Spanish aristocrat and a mother who was, well, her name is White Owl, who belongs to, not sure how to pronounce his name, but it's called Shushan tribe. Anyways, we learn how he learns horseback riding, fencing, and other feats from his parents throughout his life, which is how he gains his skills that he uses later on. As he grows older, he witnesses the injustice of Native Americans, of the prosecution they face by the settlers coming in at the time. And he decides to fight for them and become kind of a hero, which he then dons a black mask and a black outfit and becomes what would later be known as Zorro. And that's what people refer to him as later on in the story when he finally creates his name, as saying, "I am Zorro." Alright. The story then goes to him where he ends up going to Barcelona, take down an evil tyrant. He has to face a few pirates on the way too. There's a whole bunch going on in the story. That's kind of hard for me to explain every single detail of what goes on. Alright. But we see him join a resistance group, becomes kind of their symbol, do the whole Z thing, and basically fight his way back to California. The story ends on kind of like a happy note, in a way. And that, it really depends on whether you see it as happy or bittersweet if you know what happens to Zorro sometime after the end. But I'm not going to spoil that. But basically, the story is about a man named Diego who becomes the hero known as Zorro. And later on, Zorro was adapted into many other things, such as movies, comic books, and TV shows. And the thing is, it's become basically a cultural icon. Right? But to me, I feel the thing is that this version of the book is probably the most interesting because it's not told from the perspective of Zorro. Here, Zorro is actually read as like he's an actual legend, which makes him feel a bit more real when reading the book, because it gives you all the different locations, all the different years when they take place. Alright, says things in a third-person view, and, tells you the entire story of how this man grew from a kid and became a hero. And mainly, that's what I kind of like about this book, is that the thing is that it's not from the first-person perspective, it's from the third-person perspective, as if you're reading an actual book about a real person. Despite the fact that it's a fictional character, I kind of like that. If you're a fan of Zorro or Isabel Allende's work, I definitely recommend checking out the book. It's a pretty good read, and I enjoyed it. It does come in 2 different languages, Spanish and English, so make sure you get the right one. I downloaded the wrong one by accident at one point. Here's the book again, just to give you a look of it. And, yeah. And, until next time, keep reading.